Welcome to Neural Nexus Podcast, where we explore the hottest topics shaping the world. Let's dive in.
Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we are going to be talking about Tesla.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, a lot going on with Tesla these days, and I think a lot of people are really interested
Yeah,
to see how things are going to shake out in 2025, especially after kind of a rocky start.
for sure.
So we found this article called Tesla Stock Update, a tumultuous start to 2025, and thought this would be a great piece to kind of go through and see what we can figure out about what's going on. So, I mean, right off the bat, this article does not pull any punches. It leads with just this huge news that on January 2nd, Tesla stock just absolutely fell off a cliff.
Oh, wow.
Dropped 8%, which is one of the biggest single-day drops that they've had in a while.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And it's sitting at $379.28 as of January 3rd.
Wow.
Which is down 6% from the day before. And so the question on everybody's mind is obviously why?
Right.
What happened?
Well, I think the article really points to Tesla's 2024 delivery report,
Okay.
and basically just didn't meet analyst expectations.
So let's dig into that a little bit. What were the numbers? What were they expecting? What actually happened?
Okay, so looking at Q4 of 2024, they delivered 495,000 EVs,
Okay.
which actually is a record-breaking quarter.
Wow.
But it fell short of the anticipated 512,000.
I see.
So, and then looking at the whole year, they delivered 1.789 million cars, which was under the projected 1.793 million.
So they were really close
Right.
to what analysts thought.
Exactly. And I think that's what's so interesting about this, because it's not that far off, but this is the first time that Tesla has ever seen an annual decline in deliveries. So, it's always been going up, and now, for the first time, it's like, oh.
This is new territory.
Exactly. And I think that's what's making investors nervous. Like, is this a sign of things to come?
Yeah, because it's been such a meteoric rise for them.
Yeah.
It's like the narrative has always been up and to the right. And then now all of a sudden there's this little blip.
Right. And remember, like in 2024, Tesla stock surged 63%.
Well,
Hit an all-time high, $488.54 in mid-December. So from that point to now, we've seen almost a 25% decrease in market cap.
okay, so can you break down for me, because I know a lot of our listeners might not be super familiar with financial terms. So what does market cap shrinking mean?
Yeah, so market cap is basically the total value of a company's outstanding shares.
Okay.
So if you think about it like a pie,
Okay.
that represents Tesla's worth. 25% of that pie is gone now.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's a lot of money that's just disappeared.
No wonder everyone's freaking out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that leads to, a lot of the skepticism around Tesla hitting their 2025 revenue goals because, they're projecting 20 to 30% growth, which, given what's happening right now, is looking like a big challenge.
A big ask.
Yeah.
So what's contributing to that? Skepticism, like what are the factors?
Well, I think a major one is the competition in the EV market.
Okay.
Companies like BYD out of China, they're becoming a huge global player.
Yeah, and they really seem to be.
Yeah.
Like right on Tesla's tail.
They are,
What's BYD doing so well?
Yeah.
How are they able to compete?
So BYD has actually really mastered vertical integration. So they produce a lot of their own components like batteries and semiconductors,
Okay.
which means they have a lot more control over their costs and their supply chains.
Interesting.
Whereas Tesla is really reliant on outside suppliers, and they're more vulnerable to things like, supply chain issues.
Well, like what we saw during the pandemic.
Exactly.
So they're kind of insulated in a way from those sorts of problems.
Yes.
Okay, so that's really interesting. It's not just like cheap labor or government subsidies. It's like they actually have a different way of approaching the entire manufacturing process.
Absolutely. And, they're also targeting different market segments. So, they're focusing a lot on affordable EVs like buses and compact cars, which are super popular in emerging markets. So they're tapping into this whole customer base that Tesla's not really reaching.
So smart. So they're kind of like coming up underneath while Tesla's focused on the luxury market.
Exactly.
They're kind of doing this whole other thing.
Right. And then on top of all that, you have the potential for a global slowdown in EV demand, which would really put the pressure on all manufacturers.
Yeah.
And then macroeconomic factors, interest rate hikes, fluctuating energy prices, all of that.
Right. It's like the whole world is coming down on them.
Yeah, it can really impact consumer spending.
Right.
And, EVs are a big purchase.
Totally.
So people are going to be a little hesitant if they're worried about the economy.
Yeah. So what's your take on all this? I mean,
Yeah.
given everything we've just talked about, what do you think the future holds for Tesla?
Well, You know, it's tough to say. But I think we have to acknowledge that they're still a major force in the industry.
Yeah.
They have a track record of innovation, amazing brand recognition, and I mean, come on, Elon Musk, like he knows how to
Yeah.
get people talking.
He's a master
Yeah, he is.
of keeping Tesla.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you think they need to do to stay on top?
Well, I think their upcoming earnings report is going to be crucial.
Okay.
Investors are going to be really scrutinizing those numbers, looking at things like their operating margins, their cash flow,
Right.
and their geographic sales breakdown.
So what should people be looking for in those numbers?
Well, the operating margins are going to tell us how much profit they're making on each car after, taking into account production costs. And so strong margins are going to indicate, a healthy business.
Right.
Cash flow is the movement of money in and out of the company. And positive cash flow means they have the flexibility to invest in new technology, expand production, and weather, any economic storms.
Right.
And then geographic sales breakdown will show us where their growth is coming from.
Right. Are they reaching
Yeah.
new markets? Are they,
Exactly.
still able to grow?
Yep.
Okay. So it sounds like it's going to be a really tense time for Tesla investors over the next few months.
For sure. I think all eyes are going to be on them.
So to wrap up, Tesla facing some major challenges: missed delivery targets, competition,
Yep.
economic uncertainty. It's a lot to deal with. So if you were an investor, what would you do? Would you stick with Tesla? Or would you jump ship? Let us know what you think. And stay tuned for another deep dive soon.